How's everybody doing? And thanks for tuning in to the full build video of this beautiful 2022 Ford Super Duty F-450 long bed in beautiful black. This is my favorite truck to work on. What you're looking at in the front is a 4-inch mpower in amber white. Now that's a VHB sticky mount. No holes were needed to be drilled into that grille. You can feed the wiring through the grille slot and stick the light right there. So if you ever change your mind and want to take it off later, you won't have any damage at all. Very nice option for the front of this truck with a 4-inch mpower in amber white. Can be selectable to flash amber or white. Also can have a flood steady white override if you'd like. Above that, we have our Wicked Warnings auto flasher kit on the cab clearance lights. Now, as you can see, that flashes all 5 of those cab clearance lights together, and that kit is plug and play on the passenger A-pillar. You'll not need to cut any factory lighting for that kit. It is now made plug and play here at Wicked Warnings. There is provisions in the kit if you wish to isolate the 2nd and 4th light and have an alternation on the roof, but that will be a wire cut and require the headliner to be tipped slightly. So, as you see here, it is a simple install right behind the grab handle on the passenger side dashboard with a plug and play connector. You just supply the other end of the wiring to your auxiliary switches like the same way you would for the grille lights. Man, that side profile is just beautiful. I love this truck. I'm going to get me one someday. In the badges, you'll notice our Thin-X amber white. Now that's a selectable light as well. You could flash it amber or white or a combination thereof as we have right here. That light equally has the steady white flood pattern, which we'll display shortly. In the back of the truck there, nestling right next to the taillight above the bumper, is a LIN-8. Same story there. It's an amber or white or amber and white light, fully selectable with the flood option as well. We love putting the LIN-8s there on the side of the taillight because they fit extremely well. Working our way around the back of this truck. On the high side, you can see our auto flasher module flashing the factory white cargo light, as well as our mpower bezel for the Ford Super Duty and F-150. That's a bezel that holds those 2 4x2 mpower lights. Currently displayed is an amber white flash pattern called intercycle, but you can display amber or white or a combination thereof, and as well as the flood, which we are going to show you. Below that, right under the tailgate, is our 15-inch Thin-X strip. Again, amber or white or combination selectable with the white flood. As you noticed, the tailgate light right by the handle is flashing, which means we installed that auto flasher kit via cutting one single wire on the passenger kick panel. That's how you do this install, and that is totally all covered in the instructions for the auto flasher kit. All right, here's a good shot of that flood white switch. We used 2 auxiliary switches for this because the rest were taken, switches 3 and 4. 3 I set up for flashing all, and 4 for this flood white. Now this truck does privately plow some parking lots, and he is also a paver where he's working on private construction sites. This truck doesn't do any public roadway work, so he can run whatever lighting he likes on his private construction sites and in the private parking lots that he plows. Now, speaking of plowing, I'm sure you understand when you're backing up, you want as much white light as possible, or when you're loading up construction tools doing a job. So not only did we flood white the 4x2 M-powers above the cab there, we also flood whited the cargo with our auto flasher kit, which you can do via the white wire on the auto flasher kit. We flood white the 15.5 Thin-X strips underneath the tailgate. We went ahead and tossed in that side fire LIN-8 under the taillight in a flood white as well, just to get a little bit more side lighting here around the back of the truck. And as you can see, we also flood white the Thin-X that's in the front badges. This gives him, from the front mirrors backwards, a very nice, usable white light all around the truck, including in the bed, so you should have no problems. And you can use that flood white with or without the warning. It makes no difference. However, if you are using the warning, the flood white will override it. So when your warning is activated and you hit the flood white switch, it'll stop the warning and go into the flood white mode. Alrighty, now this part might get a little boring, but let's run down this package front to back, or back to front, and show you exactly, explain what we're going to get. So starting off underneath the tailgate, 15.5-inch amber white Thin-X strips, you're going to get 2 of them. You're going to wire those together with the included 30-foot piece of 18.5. Once you synchronize those, you can run that 18.5 all the way forward to control your functions of flashing and flood, etc. Now the LIN-8s that are on the side, we're going to provide 2 of those, 1 for each side of the taillight. You're also going to extend those with 22-5 wire, and you're going to tie it into the same power and ground that's running your Thin-X strips. Now you can share your power wire, you can share your ground wire, you can share your flood white wire. And if you wish to synchronize those LIN-8s, you may at that time. We will not recommend synchronizing the LIN-8 to the Thin-X strip. Synchronize the Thin-X strips together if desired. Synchronize the LIN-8 strips together if desired, and then use that 18.5 to run your power, ground, and flood forward. And the sync and pattern wire in the 18.5 going forward will more than likely not be used. So you can have those two wires for something else if you want. Now, speaking about the 4x2 mpowers and the auto flasher kit for the cargo light. The auto flasher kit for the cargo light is inclusive. Everything you need comes in that kit, so I don't need to cover it. Now, the 4x2 mpower bezel kit will have the bezel and the lights, and we'll need to add a 30-foot piece of 18.5 as well. That's going to run under the headliner, right down the passenger side of the trim here, down and forward through the firewall boot and to the auxiliary switches. It's a long run, but it's doable. Now that 18.5 as well, you're going to have power, ground, and flood, and more than likely your synchronization and pattern wire will not be used. So you'll have a blue and a yellow wire extra in the cargo area if you wanted to add another accessory later. Go ahead and set your patterns on the 4x2s, synchronize them right there, join the power, join the ground, and join the flood, and send that all forward through the 18.5. Be very careful not to run that 18.5 up here in your airbags and your side curtains. Don't do that. That's a bad move. All right, working our way back around the front. The cab clearance lights auto flasher for the 5 rooftop lights is inclusive. It's going to have everything you need, so that's right there, taken care of. The Thin-X lights, amber white in the badges. We're going to get 2 of them. If you'd prefer a different color, go ahead and substitute them with a different color. That Thin-X is available in all colors. And in the front grille there are 4-inch mpower amber white. We're going to give 2 of those. Now you're going to extend that front grille with 22.5, just like you extended the LIN-8 in the rear. You're also going to extend each one of those Thin-X's in the badge with 22.5. You're going to bring those 4 front lights together by the auxiliary switches where you'll do your pattern setting, synchronization, grab your flood wire, and your power for flashing. So for all that 22.5 work, the 2 grills, the Thin-X in the strips, and the LIN-8s out back, we're going to give you 50 feet of 22-5. So I think that covers the wire for this. We're also going to put in an accessory pack that's going to have connectors and heat shrink and a couple of other things for you. So you have some tools to get this job done. Be sure to hit our tools and accessories section. Make sure you have all the things that you want. And if you have any questions at all, any questions, please address them before you order. Check the description for the link to all these parts. Thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings. We'll see you on the next video.